Hi, I'm Wendy. Welcome back to my online environment. And we're going to be looking at negative focused future. This happens when we've actually had lots of negative events in the past. And so we end up assuming that the future will be just as bad as the past. And then we need to be aware of how much are we fearful of the future. Are we resisting the future because we don't trust that it's going to work out well? Are we trying to control the future because if you don't control it, then bad things will happen? It's important to be aware of your belief system. And if we're afraid, it's often, fear happens to be a lot of times in our head. It happens in terms of what we think about, and then it impacts our gut feeling, and our gut and our head work together to create fear. So it's so important to see how afraid are you, and what are you afraid about. So the other piece is worry. Worry tends to be a lot of thinking and a lot of sort of up in the chest head area. So when you feel worried, then you're thinking about things in a scared kind of way. And then you start to ruminate and think about and imagine all the worst things that can happen. So it's almost like creating things in a negative way, imagination negatively. And so it's so important to use our imagination in a different way. So worry, fear, working together stops us from moving into the future. The other piece is hopelessness, is if we don't have hope for the future and we kind of feel like, what's the point? We can give up. So it's so important to do things that give us hope. Even starting from looking at the sunlight to listening to the ocean waves. Nature gives us hope. But having hopelessness, it's very important to maybe experience it, but then to know that it doesn't have to be that way all the time. Being afraid of the future also is like we move into the future, but we're resisting. We're totally resisting, and we do everything to say no. So it's so important to be aware, how have you been impacted by your future, and are you willing to gain awareness in how you see the future. If it's negative, let's work on changing.